What?
Tell me what you're not doing today.
Oh, eating.
You're a horrible human being. How dare you? How have you betrayed me?
Yeah, you had 2 dinners tonight, you told me, and I've been fasting all day, okay?
I had one dinner. You just don't know how to count.
You were eating rubber chicken. Did you know?
Rubber chicken could have been eating me if I
want to get your views on fasting. Fasting has been a medical and a spiritual a method for every culture throughout all of the centuries. It's an amazing thing. I fasted for 82 days from solid food. Okay. I only drank water and fruit juice and coffee.
82 days.
82 days. Yeah. Yeah. You can survive without eating, but you can't survive without water. You need water.
Yeah. Well, and at some point, well, that depends. If you, for example, have a sickness like the flu, or
well, you don't want to eat anybody, a dog in the street will not eat when it's sick. Okay. Period.
Well,
humans like dogs, and we're not going to eat when we're sick. We
need massive amounts of calories and protein so that our body has the ability to. I can understand the cleansing fast to kind of get bad stuff out of your system, but people that are, for example, going through chemo, they go through some fasting, but they do need calories, big calories.
So according to Dr. Ajan,
he's one of the most renowned physicians in Santa Barbara.
Right. And I had my medical exam, my annual exam with him last Wednesday. Last Wednesday. And he said I need to lose 18 pounds. I've already lost 26 pounds. So I must have been a real porker. Okay. I must have been
You said it, not me.
So I've been fasting all my life. I fasted in the seminary. I learned how to do it in the seminary. Now, fasting can be done for many, many different purposes, but it has curative effects on the body as well as the spirit.
I know
because it's self-denial. It's self-denial. When you deny yourself, when you deny your body food, your body has to go into it has to go into the reserves of your body.
Yeah.
And it gives you a heightened sense of elation and euphoria. You almost get sort of dizzy when you don't eat. I'm not dizzy now because I'm having a drink, but
dizzy for a different reason.
Right. Dizzy for. But what's your view on fasting?
Well, I actually had many, many wonderful conversations with some friends of mine. So some Christians consider themselves to be prayer warriors. Whenever something big is going on,
is that like a social justice warrior?
well, unlike social justice warriors, prayer warriors, they for them it's just between them, God, and the spiritual world. So, for example, if an election's coming up or they hear somebody sick, they go to their closets and they shut out the outside world and they pray fervently. But this particular group, I know, their emphasis on life is through fasting. So if some big major event's happening, like somebody's sick, or they're considering this big life-changing decisions coming up, they fast over it.
Have you ever fasted? Have you ever fasted?
Yes. However, 2 things you should know about me and fasting. Number 1 is that I was born with a unique liver disease. The point, only my brothers and I were diagnosed with it. We're the only 3 people in medical history that have been diagnosed with it. And so this is a true thing. And the doctors don't really know how to react to it. So they just say, okay, don't drink and don't fast. I occasionally do disobey their first rule, and I do fast anyway. However, I believe it's part of the biblical principle. Part of what it means to fast is you do not tell people you are fasting. So if I go out in the streets and go, "Woe is me, I'm fasting."
Well, we're not talking about religious fanatics here. We're not talking about people who advertise every little prayer that they utter and every little good deed. We're not talking about that. We're talking about people who fast for a purpose.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I only fast for a purpose, but I want it to come to the point where it's just between me and God. I'm not doing it for other people, and I don't want to get attention by it.
Right.
That would not be right.
So all of you folks out there, I think you should start fasting by this. This is a very simple way to get going. Fast between meals. Seriously.
I do that all the time.
If you start fasting between meals, you're off and running when it comes to fasting, I think everybody can do that.
What is the definition of a fast? Let's
a fast is temporarily. When we have breakfast, it's breaking fast. The word breakfast means breaking fast.
Yes.
Okay. So in all of the religions and all of the cultures in Western civilization and in Eastern civilization and African civilization, fasting has been a medicinal experience where you temporarily refrain from eating. It's different from suicide, where you just kill yourself. It's different from starving to death, where you just don't have enough food. It's a very, very different thing. You consciously, purposely restrain from food for a specific reason or reasons, plural. Now, I fasted for 82 days because I was on a hunger strike because I was overthrowing the president of the first college where I was teaching philosophy. He was a fascist. He even looked like Mussolini. He acted like Mussolini. And to get press attention, I adopted a Mahatma Gandhi technique of I sat in front of the administration building right outside of his office, and I had a little sign, and it had the number of days I was on the fast, and I would teach my classes there. The press loved it. They ate it up. They were there every single day.
So they were breaking their fast, basically.
And my enemies, you know what my enemies would say? The ones who supported this tyrant, they said, "Oh, I hope he lights himself on fire. In fact, I'll throw the match." No, there's actually quoted in the student newspaper saying that. So fasting can be a political thing. Gandhi, Muhammad, Christ, and Gandhi, three people who have had a major impact on the world, have spoken eloquently about the benefits of fasting.
And they've practiced it.
They practice it themselves, yeah. It's a purification. In my 82 days, you know what it did to me? It really focused me. I got to get this guy out of here. I want to eat.
What I'm dying to know. What did you eat on this 83rd day?
Okay, the 83rd day, I made a mistake of having a bowl of Boston clam chowder.
What's wrong with that?
It was like a bowling ball going through my intestines. Okay, all right. In Auschwitz, when they liberated Auschwitz and Belsen and Dachau, the Americans tried to feed the poor, starving people chocolates and biscuits, and it killed some of them. It actually killed them. Because if you're denied food, if you've refrained from having food for a long period of time, you have to be very, very, very careful how you restart eating. Very careful. And a lot of people don't know that.
A little bit of advice for you non-fast. One thing, fasting is actually a very, very important part of the Armenian tradition. I don't know if you know.
I didn't know that. No, I didn't know.
Yes, actually, every week on Sunday morning, nobody is supposed to eat until you have the Holy Eucharist or communion for all you Protestants out. You're supposed to be the first time you eat on Sunday. Yes. And then, of course, you go out for lunch and you have a big bazaar and everyone brings kebabs and yum stuff and, all that. I mean, you have there's some people that go to Armenian church now. They only go for the lunch, which is kind of funny, considering that in the traditional sense, there was, you didn't have any breakfast. You didn't have anything until you had the Eucharist.
Right. So you can modulate. See, starvation is involuntary.
It's basically suicide, prolonged suicide.
But fasting is a conscious, voluntary decision you make for a set of purposes. Yeah. And I highly recommend that everybody Forget about all these crazy fad diets. People spending thousands and thousands of dollars. They go to fat farms. They are put to sleep. Yeah, fat farm. They're put to sleep for 3 days.
You would know. I mean, maybe you've been
No. In Hollywood, it's very, very popular. There's a place in Arizona where celebrities go to lose weight like in a week. They'll lose 20 pounds in a week. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Okay. There are also people who are anorexic. Now, anorexia is eating food and then regurgitating the food so that you don't gain any weight. Okay. So I know. Anyway, so arigato gozaimasu.
You're making me really hungry, by the way. Thanks to all our Patreons out there for supporting us. Please continue to partner with us if you haven't already.
We're gaining Dobir Den, Bulgarians are, and we're also getting very big in the Philippines. Thank you so much for sponsoring us and also for sharing us.
Thank you for not talking about food.
Yeah. Well, go get something to eat, okay? You look like you're starving to death. Bye-bye.
You didn't have to tell me. Bye.